this is simply delay tactics?
Well, every lawyer wants to safeguard the interest of his client. Yeah, so from that perspective, I don't have any problem with a lawyer trying very hard to, as it were, save a situation, no matter how bad the situation is. So they will play some of these antics. You see, Helen, we are not angry enough as a country. And if managers of this country are listening this morning, the word on the street there is that the youth are very much angry. They know their future is being destroyed by the actions and inactions of people that we put in position. That's why I'm very surprised that Zato is trying to embellish the situation. You cannot. We are talking about $2 million that has been taken allegedly. Like in any case, anybody that ends up in Sawam, the cases start as allegation. But they end up there. You understand? So people cannot threaten anybody with it's still ongoing. After all, the lawyers that are involved, they are saying their clients are not innocent. Why are they not waiting for the court, the judges to finish the case before they come out to say that their clients are innocent? We are talking about elders of society that we entrusted our destinies into their hands to manage our funds for us, who have been accused of having stolen $2 million. That's what we are talking about. Money that could have saved all these 3 children. That's what we are talking about. Look, when the agreement for this Sky Train was signed in Johannesburg by the then Minister of Railways, Joe Gatti, he made certain statements. And let me read some of it for you to understand the gravity of what we are dealing with.
Certainly.
He said, there is confidence in the project. The promoters, SkyTrain Consultants, are very serious. And that is why we invited the president himself, that is Nana Akufo-Addo, to be in Johannesburg to witness the signing of that agreement. Now, what was that project supposed to do? He emphasized that the SkyTrain project was the solution to the ever-increasing road traffic congestion in Accra, with its detrimental effects on economic activity, pollution, and the quality of life.
That's a wonderful intervention.
Can you, but
instead of going into traffic, being in traffic, you just go in the sky.
My goodness, Helen.
Travel in the sky.
Can you imagine Helen in a sky train greeting us from the top?
I can actually imagine.
You can imagine that.
Yeah, that would look beautiful.
The pomp and pageantry that greeted this beautiful idea, it occupied our front pages. Various days. That Ghana was going to be the first African country to have a sky train.
I think we're following in South Africa's footsteps. They have something like
They have a metro. I mean, they have a speed train. But the sky train is not in Africa.
We were going to be the first.
Following Singapore. Can you imagine how beautiful it would have been?
Wow.
Then we handed our destiny to these old men, Professor Amia Kufi and Solomon. By the way, this motion, do they have the consent of Solomon Asamoah? Because from your topic, it seems to me that it's lawyers for Professor Amia Kufi who have decided to seek interpretation at the Supreme Court. What about the other accused person? Does he concur to this position of Professor Amia Kufi? We gave them this money. SkyTrain, no, money gone. This is what we are discussing. And that is why you must be angry. When it comes to embezzlement of state funds, you have to take out political callous. Because there is no constitutional provisions, be it with the movement for change or the NPP or NDC, that states clearly that when you are given a position, go and steal. Have you witnessed any of it in any of the constitutions? So when you do, it means you are doing it for your personal benefit. And not for the entire country's benefit. We have been learning different types of transportation in this country from childhood. Road transport, air transport, water transport, rail transport. We only witnessed one or two in this country, road and air. Give us that train for us to witness something. This is where we are. So for me, what you are doing in court is one of those things. At the end of the day, the judge says 9 July, the case continues. But from where the eyes sit, the premature nature they are describing, maybe in terms of the scale of how people have looted this country in the past, if you are going to compare, then indeed their case is premature. You know why? We are talking about Professor Miyakumvi and Solomon Asamoah having been accused of embezzling how much?
$2 million.
$2 million. If Professor Miyagubi casts his mind back and realizes that Wontumi has been accused of $45 million, why wouldn't he say it's a premature case?
That's the reason why the defense lawyer.
But if I'm reasoning into their membrane that my client only $2 million, and I'm saying only because others have been accused of $45 million, and they are working freely, sharing monies in town. Why wouldn't I say it's premature? When they know, look, and those are the national, scholarship secretariat. If they are unable to call out the former boss, as we speak, everywhere around the globe, Ghana scholarship secretariat owes. We owe the British government more than 40 million pounds. Even Togo, we owe the government. And if Professor Miyagubi and the legal team sees this, and they realize that people are home chilling, and he's the one rather facing this prosecution, why would the legal people not go that this is a premature case? So maybe if we are going to look at the scale of what happened in the past to what they are being accused of, then the premature data comes in. But at the end of the day, whether you took 100,000 Ghana, 200,000 Ghana, you must face it because it's you and I. Our tax revenue.
Solomon, you said something at the beginning of your submission. You said that Dr. Zato was seeking to embellish the issue. He makes some fundamental points.
But the point is...
and I wanted him to, from his point of view, talk about some of the issues that will, have certain appointees, officials find themselves in hot water. So, for example, not constituting a board before the CEO actually takes office. Is that not a valid concern that we should be thinking about?
Helen, you did a wonderful job. You asked a fundamental question. What was the relationship between what you were saying and the current case? In this current instance, the board was in place. So I was even wondering why he was going around that when the board...
No,
you can't expand that. We are dealing with a reality, a life situation. Don't go and expand it to areas that has no bearings on this. There was a board in place. They refused, according to the Attorney General. And the Attorney General has promised you and I, including Zato, that he's going to retrieve these monies for us. Why wouldn't you be happy and support the Attorney General? But indeed, you never took part in the sharing of the booty, if there was any.
In fact, he laid that foundation. He said he's got no pounds.
So he shouldn't have gone into the realm of when there are no balls. We are dealing with a live situation. We are not dealing with an abstract. Right. We are dealing with something that is real. The matter is before court. And one of the issues that he have raised was that these people that have been accused never sought board approval. That's what we are dealing with. Indeed. The board was in place. So where he was going had no bearings on what we are discussing. And that is what I want to draw his attention. You see, many a time we find ourselves trying to, as it were, protect our political interests. We have moved beyond that. This is a public interest case. And that until, can you imagine just last year, somewhere October, a woman in Kontompo in Secondary area sold two-week-old child for 300 Ghana cedis.
My goodness.
This was widely reported, that a woman goes to labor and they give birth 2 weeks old, sell for 300 cedis. Then we are talking about people sitting there with a stroke of pen, they take away $2 million if it's anything to go by. And you want me to come and sit here and embellish it? We give them everything when they are giving positions. We buy their fuel, we buy including beer into their fridges.
We buy beer
for them. Go and see their fridges over the weekend. Then we want you to feel good at our expense. We don't feel good. You feel good for us so that you can think proper for us. Now you won't do any of this. On top of that, you are accused of having taken 2 million. But now you must be chasing people. I'm telling you.
Solomon, thank you so much for your thoughts on this. Elikem, let me come to you on your second bite. I think I'll make it probably the final bite on this one.
I am surprised at even the posturing and the approach being used by Professor Komfi and his team. Because, for instance, I am fully aware that this matter is in court. But I have also heard from the grapevine their attempt to quench this matter.
And pray that he should go ahead.
Who will look up to
approach, gold and cash for
It was just
on to become fully employed, or shall I say permanent workers in the bank. They say that after that 6-month probationary period, they did not perform satisfactorily, and for that reason, they will not be moving forward with their permanent employment. So, Elikem, then you say you situate the demands being made by the minority HR issue. Is this a legal issue? Is this a political issue? Or is it a conflation of all of the above?
It's an HR issue. First of all, I understand that more than 200 people were recruited immediately after the elections and then 100, we are told, could not pass the test.
In fact, Austin Gami, he corroborates what you're saying. He says over 200, but many were retained, many others not retained.
It cannot be a political issue, it cannot be a legal issue, purely based on performance. I mean, if they really wanted to sack all those that were recruited by the previous administration, the number wouldn't be 100. It's unfortunate that people will have to lose their jobs, but the reality of the day is that those that have been affected by this must be angry at the very people who organized the press conference. They must be angry. They are supposed to be bankers. Is that not the case? You remember we used 21 billion Ghana cedis to collapse banks that needed only 9 billion cedis to survive in this country. A lot of these people could have found their way in these banks, 9 universal banks, most of which local banks. You talk about Royal Bank, you talk about Capital Bank, you talk about Unibank, you talk about all these banks that could have absorbed more than these numbers we are talking about. In that period, those that are holding press conferences, that wants us to believe that they would have done something different, more than 6,000 people lost their jobs. GN Bank alone, more than 3,000 people lost their jobs. So if people are going to talk about retrenchment, it must not be coming from the New Patriotic Party. When they do that, it annoys the sensibilities of the people of this country. You understand? You are talking about the fact that they should be working in a bank. I just told you that the minimum capital requirement for opening a bank in this country is only 400 million Ghana cedis. Is that not the case? Okay. How much did we invest in the cathedral? It's not $58 million. Just granted that the dollar to the city today is 1:10 cedis. Multiply 10 by $58 million. That gives you 580 million Ghana cedis. We could have opened a bank and absorbed all these people. Wicked people, they use it to go and dig a hole. And they got the nerve to come and tell you that, look, hey, we are fighting for you. You must be angry at them. I can bet my last person that the people that were rushed to the Bank of Ghana, a lot of them pay bribes to get that position. They pay bribes. I'm telling you, people pay. Yeah. They took so much. If you really thought of these people, would we recruit them in December when you had lost elections, or in December that you knew very well that you were losing elections? So one bank could have opened there. Recently, a bank that I do small business, they sent me a message trying to pat themselves at the back that they have increased their capital position. How much have they got it? They say 548 million cedis. So I should be singing, hey, then something crossed my mind. Hey, so it means what we are talking about the national service, when you see any of them that have been accused, they are a working bank. That my bank is telling me that they are now in a position, the asset base is now 548 million, and so they are happy. National service, the allegation is that about 4 or 5 people, they are working with about 548 million. That is a bank working. All the people that have been sacked could have worked there. You see why you must not be entertaining some of these people. You see, we are in 2025. People must understand. We are in an era where we are wide awake and will not allow anybody to come and throw dust into the eyes of the people. Those that have been affected, I wish them well. The economy must expand, and I will call on government to rapidly develop this economy to absorb all of them. Does it not strike you that a bank, at the same time that they were recruiting these people, the financial statement of Bank of Ghana, only 2024, they incurred an operational loss of 9 billion.
So you say the focus shouldn't have been on incurring even more financial.
The bank is operating at a loss. Look at that. We decided to embark on a program called Gold for Oil. You never saw that program. Did you cite any document to that effect?
Like a policy direction.
They threw away 1.82 billion. Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia and his people, they threw away 1.2 billion.
We thought it was a two-pronged approach, gold and cash for oil.
No, it was just a scam. The Bank of Ghana just reported that we threw away 1.82 billion. Now, those people that incurred all this cost to the Bank of Ghana recruited more for the Bank of Ghana. The personnel cost alone at the Bank of Ghana, as of the last count, runs into 2.9 billion. That's how much we are paying for the staff of the Bank of Ghana.
2.9 billion.
Billion. It's even conservative. That's a conservative figure. And believe you me, the last time I checked, those that did this evaluation, they were there during the last regime because it was done by the HR department, HR and then other personal development department. They were there under MPP, they were there under NDC 1 or 2, they continue to be there. So when professionals are doing their business, you don't have to, as a political party, yes, everybody knows that we are all in the political space, but after elections, there is cooperation. We have to cooperate to develop this country. The time for rigorous campaign will come in 2027 to 2028. That is where some of us will bring superior argument to topple the National Democratic Congress. But until then, it is not nation development. And I dare say that the people who wants us to believe them as holier than thou, they have no business whatsoever organizing press conferences. And I will plead with our dear women. I came from the womb of a woman. That is why I side with my brother. That now that the men have messed up, you know, all the men, he used to be Gideon Buak, who was talking about Bank of Ghana, targeting Esiama, the current governor. When he realized there was a small tweak, there was stability in the city, the guy ran into chefs. So they go and bring our dear woman. Please, don't come and carry this cross. It's too big for you.
This is a minority decision.
It's never a minority. There are few people who are
depends on who is the face. But Solomon, you talk about when it's time to go campaigning, you'll be bringing us something from the Movement for Change. We have the Great Transformational Plan. Should we look out for the Greater Transformational Plan?
Absolutely. There will be a superior plan in 2028.
Right.
Mind you, our political party will be in place, and that will be an election to watch. An election to watch. Nobody's going to entertain propaganda going forward. We want solutions that will alleviate poverty, that will give more jobs to the people of this country.
We look forward to platforming